Welcome to The Golden Hour, a podcast about aging, dignity, and the people who refuse to let either be forgotten. I'm Liz Keller, case manager, licensed realtor, everyday mom and wife, and a lifelong advocate for seniors. Here, we'll share stories that matter, bust myths, and open up honest conversation about what aging with dignity really looks like. Because our seniors deserve better, because here, no senior is left behind. Okay. Hi, Dave.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on. I saw you for the first time at a conference that you were speaking at, just very short, very quick, just giving an overall, idea of what you do here. Can you introduce yourself and what you do?
I'm Dave Williamson, and I'm the Housing Services Manager here for Polk County. And we have a variety of housing programs that we serve all of Polk County with, including all the municipalities. And but anyways, the program I was speaking with at Prairie Meadows was the Aging in Place program that we offer.
Yes, absolutely. And everything that we talk about today, is it going to just be Polk County specific? It does not go outside of Polk County?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Are there other programs that what we talk about today that could be found outside of Polk County?
If we're going to talk about our weatherization program, yes, that's a statewide program. The Aging in Place, that's through a HUD grant. So I believe maybe the city of Dubuque might have a program over there, but I'm not for sure on that.
Okay. All right, so let's start with the Aging in Place. Now, I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to let you just describe it, and then I will ask my questions if they don't get answered after you describe just what it is, what the program is, how the grant works.
Sure. So we applied for a HUD grant through the feds back in late 23 and through 24. Anyways, we were awarded a little over $1.2 million for that grant, and it's designed to help older adults to age in place, stay within their home, to look at different items that can help them to be more safe and function better within their home.
So you said in 2023, typically what I've seen in real estate is that when we get grants, the money goes quick.
Sure.
So you still have the same money from 2023?
Well, that's when we started our application process. It was over a year process to go through the application. So we were awarded the money actually last fall, and then we have to go through a cycle to get our program up and going. And then, when we start, and that's when the money. So we started here in May.
Oh, so fairly new.
May of this year, yes, is when we started. So it's pretty lengthy.
Sure.
Lengthy application process.
That's good to know. So let's talk about the application process. To be able to utilize this program, first of all, I believe you said $5,000, correct?
Correct. They're $5,000 grants.
Okay. And you have to be 62 and above.
Correct.
Live in Polk County.
Correct.
Anything else that is a requirement?
Your income can't be more than 80% of the area median income that's set for Polk County. So that's a sliding scale depending on how many people live within the home. So if it's one person in the household, their income can't be more than $64,150. Two people in a house is $73,300, and then it just kind of goes up the scale from there.
Got it. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so income, anything else?
You can own the property or be a renter. If you are a renter, then the owner of the property has to sign off that they're okay with doing the project. There'll be some other documents they'd have to sign too and stuff. So the other thing is that the property can't be on any nuisance list in any jurisdiction wherever it is, and property taxes have to be current. And things like that.
Sure. Yeah. What is, out of all of the applications that you have received since May, what is some of the most common things that you see that you guys are doing in these homes?
A lot of handrails, grab bars, a lot of tub cutouts and stuff that we're doing, and stuff to help people to get into their tub better.
When you say tub cutouts, that we're not just sawing the tub, we're replacing it.
It is.
Oh, wow.
It is a deal. You cut out the tub, and then there's a fitting that goes over it that has a door on it, and it gets sealed up, and and stuff. So it's a pretty cost-effective way of, being able to have better accessibility.
Right. To get in your bathtub. I didn't know that was a thing. So that's
It is.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Do you guys have specific people that go in and do the work, or are the residents required to get their own contractors?
We put that out for bid, the work out for bid to contractors who are approved to work with the county and stuff. So anybody, people who are qualified to work can come and fill out an application to become a contractor to do work, I should say, to be able to submit bids.
So the people that you guys are having come in the home, they are licensed individuals, and they have
definitely
been background checked and all of that? Because I'm
Yes.
sure people would have the concern of, who are these people coming into my home?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, everybody has to be registered with the state of Iowa. There's a pretty high insurance threshold that they have to meet to work with us. We do reference checks and stuff like that. So so the homeowner isn't required to find any contractors on their own or anything. So
Okay, that's fantastic. So, okay, grab bars, the bathtub, furnace replacement.
well, we in this program we don't do furnace replacements in this program and stuff. We would if that was a case that was needed, if a furnace needed a repair or a replacement, we could handle that through one of our other housing programs.
So a ramp, bathtub,
Could
grab
be,
bars.
yeah. So how the program works is that a person calls and applies. We can take that application over the phone, and then we can get that paperwork. If they qualify, then what we do is we are partnered with a licensed occupational therapist that specializes with older adult home modifications. And so what we do is we have that person go to the person's home, visit with them at length about, how they interact in their home and what they're doing, and things that they are comfortable with, things that they're not comfortable with. And then the OT, based upon their, their schooling and stuff, comes up with a list of things that we should look at.
Most important. Okay,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So then our staff go to the home with the occupational therapist, and then everybody talks about what we're going to do. We develop some work specifications. Then that's when we have an open house, and contractors are invited to come and take a look at the work, measurements, talk about any concerns or questions that they might have. Then that allows them to prepare their bid and submit it to us, and we go through a sealed bid process.
Which I think that's great. That's kind of, that's different, that there's the open house and people kind of come in and just give bids. I think it's great because it gives the opportunity for everyone to give their bid and get the best bid, but
Sure.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Would you guys consider doing technology? So for example, if we have a couple and one of them has dementia of some sort, is that something that you guys would do, is help put technology in the home?
We could look at it. It just depends what it is and the cost of that and what the OT says that. But the idea of the grant is to do, low cost, high impact measures, installations in the home and stuff. But yeah, we could look at if there's a technology thing that could, and it fits within our budget. Sure, we could look at that.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Okay, so that is the only one program that's 62 and above. You said that there's other programs as well. Your winterization, is that what it's called?
Yeah, weatherization.
Okay, let's
Yes.
talk about that one.
Yeah, so weatherization, it's a statewide program. It's run through the state Department of Health and Human Services. But we're one of 17 agencies across the state. We handle all of Polk County with that. So if a person is on energy assistance, meaning the LIHEAP program, where they receive money to assist them with paying their power bill in the wintertime, they're automatically qualified for weatherization. So what happens is that list is prioritized by energy usage. We get that every fall, and then we start making calls to people and setting up appointments. And then I have staff that go out and do energy audits, and it's, we're not doing plastic on windows and things of that nature. It's pretty in depth. My guys have tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, but one of the things that we do is we take a look at the appliances, whether they're putting off CO in the home, to what their energy efficiency ratings are. And then also what we do is with that is looking for air infiltration points in a home where they can, we set up a blower door. And what that does, it can pressurize a home or depressurize a home. And what it does is simulates like a 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing against the side of a house. And my guys can go around with their infrared cameras and look and see where air is transferring either into the home or outside of the home.
Wow, that's impressive.
So we put together a work write-up on that. That goes out to contractors to take a look at and give pricing on. And then, we hire the lowest bid to come in and do the project. We oversee all of our projects and stuff, so it's not a deal where a homeowner has to deal with the contractor on their own. We're always there. My guys visit most of the jobs on a daily basis just to make sure everything's going well for everybody and stuff. So
you said you're specifically Polk, but you said there's 17 other
agencies across the state.
Okay, so this is a statewide thing?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So we get our funding for that program through the Department of Energy. Mid-American Energy puts money into it for us. And then also we get money through the state through the LIHEAP program for it. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that not everybody knows about this like they should.
Well, if you're on energy assistance, you'll know about it because we tried this year. We were actually able to make it clear through our list. In prior years, we weren't able to do that. So we made it through our list, called about everybody and stuff. But, there's a lot of variables to where, people want us to come and take a look at their home, and in times there's not. So the list revolves. There's people always, naturally when incomes get better, they come off the list. And then there's other times for, it's more fortunate for people that they get on the list. So there's always new customers, clients that come into that program and stuff.
What is the income requirements for that specific program?
It's similar to the 80%, but they use the poverty level, and I think it's like 200% of the poverty level for that. But so to qualify for that, we don't do the applications here. Those are done through Impact Community Action. They're the community action agency for Polk County. And so they do all the applications and process that stuff. And then it comes in with the energy usage, and then that's how they formulate the priority list. And then that gets sent to us. So
let's say an elderly person was living in their home and they only make, $1,500 from their Social Security. That would be someone that would qualify for this energy assistance.
Definitely.
And then, okay.
Definitely. Yeah. We run into folks all the time that are, living on $800-900 a month.
I don't understand how.
Yeah, I know, but they do. But you go and these people, they keep a clean house, and it's really a great deal, to assist some of these people that are more income restricted.
Yeah, I love hearing about these because I feel like we're really helping the people that they just can't help themselves anymore in whatever capacity.
Yeah.
Okay, besides those two programs, do you have any more that we should know about?
We do. We do have an emergency home repair program, and that's a countywide program. It's income driven also. 80% are below the median income. You do have to, in that program, own your own home. You have to have lived in it for 1 year at least, and then also 2, you can't be on a nuisance list with any of the jurisdictions, and 2, your property taxes and special assessments need to be current. And then also 2, with that program, your house cannot be assessed more than $242,000. The house and the land combined, $242,000.
So if there's someone that they are struggling to make ends meet and their sewer line collapses, is that something? Because
it is. We can take a look at that and stuff. So the idea of the emergency home repair program is to keep somebody, if something happens, to keep them in their home, or 2, that if the repair goes not being completed, then it could cause further damage to their home. So yes, a sewer line, we can take a look at those depending on the price of what that comes in, and what the depth is and stuff. So there are sewer projects that service lines that we end up not able to do because we don't have that kind of funding.
Yeah, I mean, those are
and this stuff.
expensive.
They can be very expensive and stuff. So
When we're talking about expensive or not expensive, I know the quote is usually that I see is around $15,000. Is that something that would be expensive to you, or that's relative to what
that
you guys...
would be, because our maximum in that program that any household or person could receive a lifetime benefit is $12,000. So, but what we try to do with that is we try to find another housing agency there's a lot of nonprofits around and stuff. So we can work with them, see if they have any funding to partner with us on. So we do that quite a bit with the different agencies when it comes to that.
Yeah, I actually have someone that I'm thinking about right now that their sewer line did collapse and they can't even stay in the house because it just, the smell of sewer.
Sure.
And they've gone through every warranty company. We've tried everything. He just doesn't have the money to be able to fix it. And we've had people come out and say it's through the company, through the waterworks company.
Yeah.
Said that there's like a drop that goes through the collapse, and so they won't approve to fix it because there's like a little streamline. Which I have had luck with them fixing those things before, that company. So I don't know what it is, but he's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't have the money to fix this. So that would he be someone that would be? He could,
call us and complete an application and we can take a look at it and stuff. So.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just trying to think of like different clients that would
be. So, we do, in the emergency home repair program, in the wintertime, we help a lot of people with furnace repairs or replacements if needed. Water heaters that go out, we help out with those. And then roofs, if they are bad to where they're leaking in the home and causing damage, could create mold and stuff like that. We take a look at those projects and stuff. So, we're not taking out windows and putting in patio doors and stuff, but we do handicap ramps through our emergency home repair program and stuff. So usually if it's a medical necessity, then we have the client get a note from their medical provider that says that, they're in need of this.
That makes sense.
In the home and stuff. So we're, like I said, we're not coming in and putting new trim in and painting walls and ceilings.
Nothing cosmetic.
Nothing cosmetic. It's all designed to, help people stay in their home if they got a leaky drain or whatever, so don't ruin the bottom of the kitchen cabinet and stuff. We come in and fix the drain line and things like that.
Do you feel like landlords are usually pretty good to work with? I mean, to me, working with landlords, I would want someone to come in and...
So with the emergency home repair, it's owner occupied.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
The aging in place is the one.
Aging in place is that. And then also weatherization is too, if the renter is on energy assistance, then the landlord, the owner of the property, has to sign off, basically release a liability to allow us to come and do the work.
Sure.
At the home. So.
Okay, we've got 3. Do we have any more?
Well, we assist other housing agencies. We assist the Every Step program. They have a Healthy Homes program over there, which it started out, it was through the health department and the Polk County Housing Trust Fund, but it's called the East Bank Project. And what it was designed to do was to assist households where children went to the ER quite a bit for asthma-related items. So anyways, we partner with them, and now Every Step received a HUD grant for that, so they've kind of taken it over. But we assist with the field portions of that. So my staff go and do assessments, healthy homes assessments, identify environmental items within a home that trigger asthma for children and stuff, and then we go in and see what that needs to happen to relieve that. Hire contractors if that's something that can be done.
Do you think that the most common would be mold on that, or what do you feel like has been the most common of that trigger?
It's usually animals within the home.
Well, I was going to say that, but that's that wouldn't be you guys putting money in the house. That would be you just suggesting that maybe that animals...
Well, no, what we would do, a lot of times with that, sure. There are staff outside of us that go and visit with them about their home and help them with cleaning items and things of that nature. We don't do that, but we do take out a lot of carpets and put in hard surfaces
Okay.
and stuff like that. And then they follow up with, cleaning supplies to, help them do that and stuff. But it has been, since I've been around, for quite a while here, that program's probably one that you can really see an improvement. The doctors at the ERs will tell you that, we don't see these kids hardly again after they come through this program and stuff. But
How would people know about that program?
well, they would contact the Every Step program. They're over on the east side and stuff, and just tell them they wanted to do with the healthy homes, and then they qualify you and do that. Our part is that we come and do the field work, the assessments, hiring of the contractors, overseeing the projects, and paying it out and stuff is how we do that.
But usually, like do the medical field know about this? Is that how, like, if someone keeps coming into the ER, maybe the staff there at the ER would say, hey?
They do. I'm not totally familiar with the outreach of that. I can tell you what it was 15 years ago when it started out as a pilot project and stuff like that. Yes, there were, a lot of people who sat around the table, medical providers, hospitals and stuff. So that's what's made it such a successful program, is because all these people, in the community came together and stuff. So
is that something that's a grant and the money runs out, or that's just continuous?
Every Step has a grant for that too. So
all of these are grants. Where is the money coming from?
Well, for, let's say, this Every Step program, that comes through HUD. Our Aging in Place comes through HUD also too. Then our weatherization, dollars, I alluded to a little bit, they come from the Department of Energy, Mid-American Energy, and the state LIHEAP program, the HEAP program through the state. And then for our emergency home repair program, the Board of Supervisors commits money to it. And then also the Polk County Housing Trust Fund, we apply for monies through them, and they also assist us in the emergency home repair program. So
if and when you guys run out of money, then what? Then do we just put everything on hold and we have to wait until there's another round?
Yes, that is. But what we try to do is to gear everything. The Board of Supervisors a couple years ago gave us some extra money to put in the emergency home repair program. So we're funded pretty good through there. Like I said, with our Aging in Place, that's just started. So we're sitting good there. Our weatherization money, that it fluctuates a little bit. We're still on target to receive all of our money this next year with all of the stuff going on, and with the feds and stuff. Our money's still there and stuff, so I don't see an issue with that and stuff. So yeah, some of the programs, the Healthy Homes program that the other agencies have, sometimes there's a gap there between when they can apply for funds and when their funds run out.
Now, if someone in Marshall County hears this and they say we need to be able to get that help, who would they contact to see if it's available in Marshall County or Jasper or somewhere in any other county?
Yeah, so for the weatherization program, they would call their community action agency in whatever county that they're in. Some community action agencies cover several counties. Used to be called Red Rock Community Action, and they covered a couple different counties. Well, then it kind of split off, and then now there's Impact Community Action, and they just cover Polk County alone for the weatherization program and stuff. So I would say, you just would need to reach out to, whatever city you live in, or, if you're in the unincorporated part of your county, then, you could reach out to your, your county clerk or, somebody in the manager's office to see what programs there are and stuff. So,
well, would that mean that they would need to go down to like the city hall? Or I just want to have a very clear, if someone needs help and they're hearing this, I can tell you that the first thing that people say is no. I mean, and I'm referring to like when we call a government place.
Yeah.
I feel like that first person is always no, the no person.
Right. And there could be other counties across the state that don't have any programs.
Why is that the case? I don't understand why Polk County has all of these.
I mean, is our housing programs or commitments, through the Board of Supervisors. Like I said, all of the counties across the state have a weatherization program and stuff. So, I can't speak to what other housing programs or why they don't have them in other counties and stuff like that. So sometimes, it might be a deal where they just don't have the funding to do it.
Well, the reason I was asking where that money comes from is you said it's Fed money that's coming down, right? So Fed money would be...
Yes. So, but, let's just say HUD has $50 million to put out in grants for aging in place. Well, that's for the whole country across the U.S. So, it's a competitive application process when we put in for those grants.
Yeah.
And stuff. So that's, what I mean.
So it's the county that has to put that in. That's what I want to clarify is you, the county, put the application in and you guys were granted from HUD that money specifically because the work that you guys did to put the money or to get the application.
Sure.
Right. So if a county doesn't have this, it's probably because their county officials did not apply for that grant for the county.
Or they don't, I can't speak to why they would or wouldn't, put in for that. But, you're talking about, let's just say there's 99 counties in Iowa and you say everybody wants $1 million. There's 99 million. Let's just say HUD only has 50. Well, you're just talking about Iowa. You're not talking about the rest of the country. So, the money that we received, like when we went to our training, we were with a bunch of other states and stuff. And so this last go around, I think we were the only ones in Iowa. I'm sure there were others that applied here in Iowa. I just don't know those, those numbers.
I would like to know what that criteria is on why Des Moines was able to, only because, as always, I'm always telling people about why it's great to move to Polk County, move to Des Moines. This could be another reason. I mean, if these rural counties are struggling and they're not able to get these grants and you see people suffering in their houses there's drafts, coming in the windows and everything that we've talked about that you fixed.
Yeah.
And you can't get them fixed because you're not in the right county, which is crazy to me, kind of. Maybe that's another reason that I would, advocate to move to Polk County if we have the grants here.
The weatherization program is statewide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but the aging in place,
the healthy homes.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about what other jurisdictions across the state have that grant or not. I just know about what
Des Moines and Polk County has.
Yeah, what we have here.
And then the third one, so the aging in place, the kids one, the healthy steps, weatherization, and then what's the other one?
Emergency home repair.
And that one is?
That's a county program.
Okay.
That we have. The Board of Supervisors commits the money for that program.
Sure. Okay. Do we have a fifth one?
A fifth one. Well, we do help out Impact Community Action in the wintertime. They do have some money. There are community action agencies. Usually every county across the state has a community action agency that they're represented by. So, they do a lot of different things with, helping out with food, clothing, other assistance and things like that and stuff. But the community action agencies take the applications for the weatherization program.
Okay.
Is how they do that. So Impact is that. But they also have some dollars that they get. I'm not sure where they get them from. But to help people with emergency furnace replacement in the wintertime. So we handle the field portion of that for Impact as a partnership.
And that's great because that's the hardest part is handling the field stuff, the contractors, right? That's the hardest part. We talked a lot about furnace. Do we do the same for AC?
Air conditioning units, we do have a small amount of money to do that. A lot of times, most people now, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there were a lot of people who didn't have air conditioning. It seems like most everybody has air conditioning now. If it needs repaired or replaced, we do have small amounts of money to do that. If usually we have to get a doctor's note saying that it's a medical necessity.
Like asthma or something of that nature that would heighten.
Sure, or to, if the heat, would get to them and things like that. So we do have where we can put window airs into it. If it's cheaper to fix an air conditioner, a central air unit, we can take a look at that and stuff. But Yeah, we don't do a lot of, changing out of conditioning units.
Well, I would imagine not, because you can get a window air to supplement,
Yeah.
I suppose. What is one thing that you would want people to know that you just don't have the platform to be able to go tell them about all of the programs that you have to offer here?
One is, the county, especially the Board of Supervisors, are concerned about housing issues here in Polk County. And, especially, there's a homeless issue and things like that. But all of our housing programs are partially designed, to keep people in their homes and stuff like that. So, if people don't have a sewer or running water or whatever, then, that's grounds for a jurisdiction to say, hey, you can't live in your home anymore. So all these programs are designed to, make it better for people to be able to stay in their home, make them more health and safety, oriented and stuff too. So those, I think that's the things that we offer. But we're just a part of a network of people. You got Habitat for Humanity that's out there doing good things, aging resources we talked about, off camera, rebuilding together. There's just a wide variety. The city of Des Moines, West Des Moines, a lot of jurisdictions have different things going and stuff. There's a Metro Home Improvement Program, so there's a lot of different people, but there's a lot of need out there.
Yeah.
And stuff. So we're busy. We stay busy constantly, helping people and stuff like that. So.
Well, the rising cost of everything, and rightfully
Yes.
so, because it's just so expensive for everybody that even
It is.
contractors do have to increase their prices, and the suppliers have to. It just is what it is. But the other side, we're not able to afford it. But I understand both sides of it, so I'm not really sure which team I'm on, because I understand how our wages aren't specifically going up.
Right.
But the cost of everything is going up. And
It
how
is.
do we mold those together? And it sounds like there are some places that are able to step in and help.
There are.
And all of those things that you just named, what would someone Google to be able to just kind of start on if they've got problems?
You could look
or
up, you could Google nonprofit housing programs in Polk County, Iowa. That would be a search you could do. For our programs, you can get on our Polk County Public Works website, list all of our programs, our contact information for all of our programs, and kind of gives you a brief description about what we do.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I think a Google search, like I said, housing programs within Polk County.
Okay.
Stuff. So.
Yeah, or whatever county that they live in.
Yeah, whatever county. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know all of the counties that did get the grant? Did they tell you guys that,
No.
or they just told you?
No.
I would be curious if it was like the bigger city counties that have more population.
I'm not sure about what their criteria was. It's just they put out it's called a notice of funding opportunity and stuff, and that just goes out on their website and stuff like that. And, that's where, you find out about these grants.
Yeah.
Like
you have on there if there's a grant that's available, it's there. If it's not available, it's not there. Correct?
For us,
yes.
Yeah. You
okay.
bet.
Yeah. Okay.
You bet.
Anything else that you think is important that we should be letting the public know?
No, I think that covers it from our housing perspective here at our place.
Well, thank you so much. This is really helpful. It helped me understand, to help my clients, but also hopefully if someone needs help, they see this and then they know to just start doing the work to Google where they need to start.
Or, like I said, if you get in contact with us and there's something specific, we do, we do, listen to people. And then too, we just, we don't say, hey, we don't do that and hang up the phone. We try to give options. We got a referral sheet. If you call 211, that's another resource you can call. I just thought of that. United Way has it called 211, and you can, tell them what you got going on, and they've got a referral sheet. We've kind of got the same thing. So, we can refer people to different organizations.
What might fit them? For their situation. Yeah. Okay. I love that. This is super helpful. Thank you so much. Okay. And as a realtor and in the field of helping the aging population, this is a lot of information that I don't think that we know that we should know.
Sure.
So super helpful. I'm glad that I ran into you there.
Well, I'm glad that you asked.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks.